Hello friends, myself Amit Belekar from Tips and Tricks by AMB welcomes you to this next presentation on parenteral routes of administration of drugs. After going through this video, the learner will be able to define parenteral routes, describe different types of parenteral routes, and describe advantages and disadvantages of various parenteral routes. So first we are discussing what do you mean by parenteral route of administration of drugs. Parenteral route is a systemic route, and this word came from two words. Para means other and enteron means intestine. So the route which involves parts other than gastrointestinal tract are called as parenteral routes. These are divided into three subtypes as cutaneous or transdermal route, second is inhalation route, and third is injection routes. Now we will discuss these subtypes one by one. First we are going to discuss about cutaneous or transdermal route. Cutaneous means skin, thus this route is related with the skin. Transdermal is the word which came from two words. Trans means through and dermal means dermis layer of the skin. Thus cutaneous or transdermal route means absorption or administration of drug through the skin to achieve systemic effect. So it is very important here that we want systemic effect. In case of topical route also we are applying the drug on the skin, but there we want local effect and not systemic effect. Here we need systemic effect. So that is the difference between topical route and cutaneous or transdermal route. Here drug is desired to get absorbed in blood vessels present in the dermis layer of the skin, and then it is distributed all over the body and it produces its effect. So here we want systemic effect. The drug which is to be applied on the skin for systemic administration by this cutaneous or transdermal route, drug should have some characteristics, and first important characteristics drug should have that it should be highly lipid soluble, as it should cross lipoidal barrier of the skin. So skin is having two layers, epidermis and dermis, and epidermis is the portion which is to be crossed by the drug, and this epidermis is mostly having the lipoidal barrier, and drug has to cross this lipoidal barrier. That's why drug should be highly soluble in the lipid to get absorbed into the blood vessels which are present in the dermis layer. To improve absorption of drug by cutaneous route or transdermal route, drug can be given or drug can be incorporated in the form of ointment, and it is applied over the skin. So mostly ointments are having oil basis. There are more chances of absorption of drug by cutaneous route. So mostly ointment form is used whenever we want to apply drug by cutaneous route, whenever we want to introduce drug by cutaneous route. Here absorption takes place slowly but for prolonged duration. So onset of action is not quick, onset of action is slow because slow absorption is there, but after application, once absorption it is started, it is continuous for longer duration, and thus we can get long duration of action by cutaneous route or transdermal route of administration of drug. Now we have to discuss about transdermal therapeutic systems It is one of the type of new drug delivery systems which are recently developed devices in the form of adhesive patches which deliver drug at constant rate into systemic circulation via stratum corneum. So here drug it is incorporated in the form of adhesive patches which are applied on the skin, and from that drug it is continuously going to be absorbed, slowly going to be absorbed for longer duration. This system is called as transdermal therapeutic system. Examples of the drugs which are used by this transdermal therapeutic system and these are available in market are transdermal patches of nitroglycerin, transdermal patches of hyoscine, transdermal patches of clonidine, and transdermal patches of nicotines are also available in the market. That is about the cutaneous route. Now we have to discuss second parenteral route, that is inhalation route. In this inhalation route, drug in the form of vapor or in the form of fine droplets is inhaled in the lungs for systemic absorption. So drug in the form of vapor or in the form of fine droplet, it is inhaled through the inhaled air, and through that air drug enters into the respiratory system, from which it is going to be absorbed into the blood, and thus we can get systemic effect of the drug. Lung is having tremendous surface area because we know that the bronchi are divided into bronchioles, secondary bronchioles, tertiary bronchioles, quaternary bronchioles, then terminal bronchioles, and then alveoli are there, and these alveoli are having tremendous surface area, and because of that whenever drug is taken by inhalation route, there are chances of rapid absorption of drug from the inhalation route because it is having large surface area. So we can get quick effect by inhalation route. There are various drugs which can be taken by inhalation route. Examples we have to discuss. First example is volatile general anesthetics like ether, chloroform. These are given by inhalation route to produce general anesthesia. Another example is salbutamol or isoprenaline aerosols are used for the treatment of asthmatic attacks. So here we get local effect rather than systemic effect. So in asthma we want effect in the respiratory system and we are taking the drug by respiratory system, so that is the local effect achieved. We does not want systemic effect in this case. So in asthmatic condition also, in emergency we can say this route can be useful. Adrenaline can be used in the form of aerosol for treatment of cardiac arrest because it gives very quick effect and it is an emergency condition. So this route can be very much useful in that case. Now we are going to discuss advantages of inhalation route. Already we had discussed that lungs provide large surface area, and because of that quick and rapid absorption of drug can be possible by inhalation route, and thus it is very much useful in emergency cases. Another advantage of inhalation route is that controlled administration of drug is possible with moment to moment adjustment in inhalation route. So we can increase or decrease the dose of drug in the inhaled air, and thus we can do very fine or minute adjustment in case of inhalation route. So that is the advantage of inhalation route. And third advantage is that here we can avoid first pass metabolism of drug because drug directly reaches into the systemic circulation. It does not goes into liver first. It first goes into the systemic circulation and then goes into the liver. Here we can avoid first pass metabolism, which is the disadvantage of oral route. Now we have to discuss about disadvantages of inhalation route. Irritant vapors if we are taken by inhalation route, it may produce inflammation of respiratory tract, and there are chances of increase in secretions of respiratory tract. So there are chances of inflammation of respiratory tract, or there is increase in the respiratory tract secretions, and which may affect the respiration process, because secretions, if these are increased, they can block the respiratory tract, and thus respiration process can be affected. So that is one of the important disadvantage of inhalation route. Second disadvantage of inhalation route is that here drug, when absorbed into the systemic circulation, it directly reaches to the left side of the heart through pulmonary veins, and it may produce cardiac toxicity. So that is the disadvantage, that chances of cardiac toxicity are there in case of inhalation route. So these are the disadvantages of inhalation route. Now we are moving towards the last parenteral route, that is injection route. In injection route, drug in the form of solution or suspension, it is injected in different tissues or organs of our body with the help of needle and syringe. So here we require a equipment that is called as needle and syringe, and with the help of that needle and syringe, we are introducing the drug into different tissues of our body to get systemic effect. This route is also having some advantages and some disadvantages. So we are discussing first about the advantages, and then we are moving towards the disadvantages. First we are going to discuss advantages. By injection route, we are sure that we can get effect, and there is the effect which is produced very rapidly. Fast effect can be produced by inhalation route. So action is surer and faster. That's why it is very useful in emergency cases. This is the first advantage. Now second advantage is this route is useful for patients who are suffering from recurrent vomiting. So the person who is continuously having vomiting or diarrhea, in that case, if drug is taken by oral route, it is not effective, because drug comes out with the vomiters, and in such a person we cannot get effect by oral route. Then we can prefer injection route for administration of drug. Similarly, this route is employed in unconscious persons and uncooperative patients. So already we discussed in enteral routes or oral routes that we cannot give drug to unconscious patient by oral route, but we can give injection to that unconscious person. So injection route is useful in unconscious persons and uncooperative person also. Uncooperative person, already we had discussed in enteral route or oral route, that uncooperative person, mostly the person or patient who is suffering from psychological illnesses. If that person refuses to take the drug by oral route, we cannot force him to take the drug by oral route, but we can forcefully give injection to the person. 3 to 4 persons can hold the patient, and doctor can inject the drug to that person. So forcefully we can inject the drug, forcefully we cannot give drug orally. Next advantage is that here liver is bypassed, and because of that first pass metabolism cannot take place if drug it is given by injection route. So here we can avoiding first pass metabolism. Next advantage is that there are no chances of interference by food or digestive juices for absorption of the drug. That is possible in case of oral route. If drug is taken by oral route, food delays the absorption of drugs, and digestive juices may degrade the drugs. But if drug is taken by injection route, no such interference by food or digestive juices is there. That is the advantage of injection route. Next advantage of injection route is that drug which are not absorbed from small intestine, these can be administered by injection route. So drugs which are unable to absorb by small intestine, they can be introduced by injection route. These are the advantages of injections. Now we are moving towards the disadvantages of injection route. First disadvantage of injection route is preparations which are to be injected in our body, these should be sterile in nature. So that is very, very important. And to make these injections sterile, a sterilization process should be done, and it may increase the cost of the product. So that is the first disadvantage. Another disadvantage is that this technique is invasive, because invasive means it produces wound. So needle, it is introduced into the body, it causes invasion or it may produce wound, and that is the invasive technique. And this technique is painful also. Painful means it produces pain, it generates pain when we are taking the injection. Mostly we avoid injection whenever we went to the doctor. Doctor says if you want to take injection, then we avoid it. We say no. Why? Because there is generation of pain when taking the injection. So we avoid that. So this is the second disadvantage of injection route. Third disadvantage is that self-medication is not possible in case of injection route, because here we are introducing needle into different deep areas of our body, and because of that the person who is having knowledge about these deep areas of our body, where to inject the needle and where to insert the needle, that knowledge should be there. A knowledgeable, skilled person is required to give injection. So self-medication is not possible. We need help of skilled person for taking the injection. Next disadvantage is that there are chances of local tissue injury because of injections. So needle, if it is introduced in our body or tissue, it may damage certain tissues or cells, or sometimes injection is given wrongly, there are chances of damage to the nerve also. So there are chances of local tissue injury, and because of that it is the most risky route of administration of drug. Next and last disadvantage of injection route is that it requires special equipment like needle, syringe or IV set for administration of the drug. So because of this special equipment which is needed to take the injection, it also adds to the cost of injection, and because of that also the injection route becomes costlier. So these are the disadvantages of injection. There are different types of injections available depending upon tissue where drug it is to be introduced, but these types we are not discussing today. These types of injections we are going to discuss in the next video. It is time to summarize. In this video or presentation we had discussed about definition of parenteral routes, then we had discussed about types of the parenteral routes along with their advantages and disadvantages. Thank you for listening me patiently. If you like this presentation, please click on the subscribe button, like it and share it to your dear ones. If you have any queries, you can contact me on my mail address which is given in the video. Thank you once again.